Why is our house up for sale? My husband demanded angrily over the phone. Oh, I decided to sell it, I responded, my voice calm and steady. What are you talking about? This house belongs to me, doesn't it? He shouted. Actually, my father was the one who invested in this house for us, so the ownership is under my name. I have every right to sell it, don't I? I replied firmly. This is absurd, he barked. You kept this for me on purpose, didn't you? Not really, I said coolly. But since you walked away with $1.45 million, why not go enjoy your new life with your girlfriend? GH. Well, since you already know, I guess I don't mind sharing some of the money with you, he sneered. Little did he realize that this wasn't even the worst surprise waiting for him. My name is Eleanor, and I'm a 55-year-old housewife. I've been married to Jaden for 27 years. Our daughter, Lily, is 26 and got married last year. She has a wonderful relationship with her husband, Beau, and often shares stories about their happy life whenever she visits. Seeing her so content always warms my heart and reassures me that her marriage is thriving. You look really happy, Lily, I said with a smile. Mom, are you doing okay? Taking care of Grandpa must be hard on you, she asked with concern. Oh, I've been managing it for years now. I'm used to it, I assured her. Besides, he'll be hospitalized soon, so my role will change. That's unfortunate for him, but at least it means he'll get some relief. Lily replied thoughtfully. Though I feel bad for saying that, I appreciate your concern, Lily, I said warmly. If you ever need help, just say the word. Beau is completely on board with it too, she said with a cheerful laugh. That's sweet of you, but I can still handle things on my own. I plan to keep going strong for at least another 30 years. I'm sure you will, Lily agreed, grinning. Just focus on enjoying your newly life with Beau. Thanks, Mom, she replied with a happy smile. I truly cherish these visits from my daughter, but the truth is, caring for my father-in-law every day has been incredibly exhausting. 5 years ago, my husband's parents moved in with us. They had wanted to do so much earlier, but I insisted that we wait until Lily had finished university and was living on her own. I wanted her to focus on her studies without any distractions. My husband complained, but my priority was always my daughter's well-being. The adjustment was challenging. A year after moving in, my mother-in-law developed severe leg and back problems, requiring constant care. I had to quit my part-time job, which I had taken to help pay for Lily's tuition and save for retirement. Instead, I became a full-time caregiver and housewife. Luckily, my in-laws never treated me poorly, but the emotional and physical toll was immense. Then, my father-in-law fell ill as well. Eventually, my mother-in-law passed away, leaving me with the sole responsibility of caring for my father-in-law. Jaden, meanwhile, took no part in any of it. You're a housewife, he would say dismissively. Taking care of them is your job. Don't complain. That was it. He saw no need to help. He believed that earning a paycheck absolved him of any household responsibilities. Ideally, he should have been the one caring for his own parents, but any attempts to reason with him would just lead to fights. So, I endured it. Over time, I adapted to my caregiving role. When my mother-in-law passed, my workload lightened somewhat, and now, with my father-in-law about to be hospitalized, my duties would soon come to an end. But there would be no reward for my years of sacrifice, no financial compensation, just a quiet, personal sense of closure. Lately, however, Jaden's behavior had become more unbearable than ever. You have such an unfortunate face, he sneered one evening. Just looking at you ruins my mood. Get out of my sight while I eat. That was the level of disdain he had for me. He expected me to cook his meals, then banished me when it was time to serve them. He had always been dismissive, but now he was downright cruel. His late work hours, frequent overtime, and weekends spent drinking at bars had kept him away from home most of the time. But on Mondays and Tuesdays, when he came home early, he would lash out at me over the smallest things. Why weren't my shows recorded? He shouted one evening. Oh, I had scheduled my drama to record at that time and… Don't be stupid. You should have recorded my show instead. Cancel yours. Wait, what? I hesitated. Do you have a problem with that? Who pays for the TV, the electricity, and everything else around here? He snapped. Okay, I'll cancel it, I muttered, defeated. Hurry up, you idiot, you're so useless. You can't even manage the house properly. Why did I have to endure this? I had cared for his parents, cooked his meals, and even prepared his lunches, yet he never once expressed gratitude. The constant abuse was crushing me. I couldn't take it anymore. Being in the same house as him felt suffocating. That's why I had started visiting my father-in-law in the hospital so frequently. It was an escape. "Hey, Eleanor," he greeted me weakly one afternoon. "Dad, how are you feeling?" I asked, taking a seat by his bed. "Thank you for everything, and I'm sorry," he said, his voice sincere. I was taken aback. "What do you mean? This is so sudden." I've been reflecting. I never truly showed my appreciation for all you did, for my wife, for me. Jaden abandoned us, treating us like a burden, but you stayed. Without you, I don't know what would have happened to us. I am deeply grateful. I was speechless. But I've also noticed something else, he continued. "Jaden, he's been treating you differently, hasn't he?" "How did you know?" I asked, startled. "I overheard things when I was still living at home, and I could see it in your tired face." That was when it all clicked. Jaden's cruelty, his coldness, his dismissive attitude, he wanted out. He was pushing me to break first, to be the one to ask for a divorce. But if he thought I was going to make it easy for him, he was sorely mistaken. I resolved to stand firm and take control of my own fate. From that moment, I began preparing for what lay ahead. Months passed, and my father-in-law's health deteriorated until he eventually passed away. Since I visited him daily, I was by his side in his final moments. Even then, he expressed his gratitude toward me, making all my efforts feel worthwhile. After the funeral, my husband left all the arrangements and responsibilities to me, yet played the role of a grieving son, shedding tears in front of relatives for sympathy. Watching him act, I felt increasingly detached from him. He had always taken advantage of my efforts, enjoying the rewards while I did the hard work. I never expected praise, but seeing him take all the credit was infuriating. My daughter, who had seen firsthand how I had cared for the family while he did nothing, gave him a cold, disapproving look. Once the funeral concluded, my daughter, her husband, and I were at home when my husband suddenly announced he was going out. "What? That's odd. Where could you possibly be going right after your father's funeral?" My daughter asked, frowning. "He's probably off to see another woman," I said calmly. My daughter and her husband were stunned. "What? Another woman? Is Dad cheating?" she asked, eyes wide in shock. I presented the evidence I had gathered from a private investigator. "Ew, that's disgusting. Why would he do this?" Lily asked in disgust. "He assumed he was inheriting a huge sum of money, so he started flaunting it at nightclubs and tried to impress a woman there," I explained. "He thought he was getting a fortune?" she repeated in disbelief. "Yes. Your grandfather mentioned the inheritance to him but conveniently left out the debts attached to it," I said. "Wow, Dad's a fool," my daughter sighed. "He truly is, but I won't be burdened by his debt. I'm leaving him before it catches up to me," I declared. "That's the best decision, Mom. I'll cut ties with him too. I hope your divorce goes smoothly. If you need anything, we're here for you," she assured me. "Thank you, Lily," I said, comforted by her support. A little while later, after settling my father-in-law's affairs and finalizing funeral matters, my husband suddenly approached me. "I have something to say," he announced. "What is it?" I asked, wary. "I'm finally free from you," he declared smugly. "What do you mean?" I questioned, though I already knew. "I'm divorcing you. I'm about to inherit $1,450,000, so I don't need you anymore," he said arrogantly. "Inheritance money?" I repeated, pretending to be surprised. He grinned smugly, confident in his supposed victory. "You've been a useless wife. As you've aged, I don't even see you as a woman anymore. I'm leaving you behind to enjoy my freedom," Jaden sneered. How much had I sacrificed for this man? He never acknowledged my efforts, only sought to discard me like an unwanted possession. I had expected this, but hearing it aloud still made my blood boil. "Fine. Here are the divorce papers," I said, retrieving the documents from the drawer and handing them over. "What? You had them ready? How?" My husband stammered. "You've been treating me terribly. If you push someone to their limits, of course, they'll consider divorce," I stated firmly. "Humph. Well, that's just fine," he scoffed. Without hesitation, he filled out the papers, eager to be rid of me. "Here you go. We're done. File this quickly, pack up, and leave." I'll stay in a hotel until you're gone. After all, I have $1,450,000 coming in, he laughed smugly. Packing a small bag, he left, likely rushing to his mistress. He wanted a swift divorce before anyone could question his affair. I wasted no time. I immediately filed the divorce papers and put our house up for sale, then moved out as soon as the deal was finalized. My ex-husband had no clue about the hidden reality of his father's inheritance. When I informed him I had completely moved out, he laughed. Took you long enough? Now I can start my new life. But days later, I received an enraged call from him. Hey, why is the house listed for sale? He shouted. Oh, because I decided to sell it, I responded calmly. What? That house is mine, isn't it? He yelled. What are you talking about? My father contributed the money for that house 20 years ago. It was registered under my name, making me the sole owner. I had every right to sell it, I stated. What? Jaden stammered, shocked. He had completely forgotten. This is absurd. You kept this from me on purpose, he accused. I didn't, you never asked. But since you got $1,450,000, why not enjoy life with your new girlfriend? I replied. What? He exclaimed. Oh, do you think I didn't know? I had your affair investigated. My lawyer will be contacting you regarding compensation, I informed him. He muttered, caught off guard. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't mind paying you a small sum, he scoffed. Good. My lawyer will handle the rest, I said before hanging up. Soon after, my lawyer confirmed the settlement. My ex-husband had been furious over the compensation because he had finally learned the truth about his father's estate. Yes, his father had assets worth $1,450,000, but the debts exceeded that. What he actually inherited was a debt of around $85,000. Adding the $20,000 he owed me in compensation, he was left drowning in about $105,000 of debt. Instead of a windfall, he was now financially ruined. Unable to pay, he even begged my lawyer for leniency, but I refused. My lawyer told him, "You're welcome to take this to court." In the end, he begrudgingly accepted the terms. Meanwhile, his mistress, realizing he had no money, abandoned him, even repaying the compensation before disappearing. Desperate, he reached out to our daughter, but she had already blocked him and cut ties. Now he lives alone in a rundown apartment, barely scraping by, burdened with debt. He got exactly what he deserved. As for me, I stayed with my daughter and her husband for a while before using the proceeds from the house sale to buy an apartment nearby. We often enjoy meals together and spend quality time as a family. Since I'm still in good health, I took a job at a local supermarket. I've decided to embrace life fully, first by securing my financial independence, and then by traveling as much as I can. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Stay tuned.